Join me in a journey to find out all about Turkish coffee, its preparation and its culture. Stick around because I have a special guest for you sharing unique insights into Turkish coffee preparation and Turkish culture around coffee that you cannot miss. Let's start with a bold statement. Coffee for Turkey combines two things: a special brewing and preparation method, and number two, a communal traditional culture around coffee. Let's tackle them one by one. First of all, special preparation techniques and brewing techniques. To make Turkish coffee, indeed you need special tools, special preparation methods, let's say. In short, freshly ground coffee beans are first of all grounded to a very fine powder, finer than espresso, finer than your average coffee ground. You add them in the special coffee pot, which is a small voluptuous type of pot. Then you add your water, which is measured. Then you optionally add sugar, and then you put them into a stove, and it's brewed slowly on the stove to produce the rise or the formation of a foam ring. That would indicate the end of the brewing process. But how does it taste really? Well, Turkish coffee leaves a long-lasting taste. It's softer, more aromatic, and more concentrated than other types of coffee. It's easy to distinguish from espresso, let's say, because first of all, you will have a foam, you will have also the coffee solids, which are on the bottom of the cup, and you will have this softness and aromatic let's say profile that you won't find in other types of espresso or other types of coffee for that matter. It is one of the oldest coffee making methods in the world. I mean, the process looks deceptively simple, but trust me, it is not. It needs skill and it needs some specific preparation methods and tools if you have to make it perfect. To achieve it at home, you don't need much. You just need a small coffee pot, you need some Turkish coffee, fine Turkish coffee, you need a stove, open fire, and just like that, you can achieve it. It's minimal processing methods, essentially. And if you want to find out more about how to do that at home, using simple tools, see my video over there and make it like a boss. But I won't say more of this, I will let my guest speak. So, hi Safiye, how are you?
Hi Tassos and hi everyone. I am Safiye. I am a postgraduate student in Crete, and I am very happy to involve in this interesting topic.
I'm glad that you agreed to be featured on the show. Thanks a lot for your time. Now I have a question for you, a quick one. Tell me your first memory around coffee. Were you at home, with your family maybe? What do you remember?
My first memory with Turkish coffee, I remember when I was a child, my father used to drink coffee every day after breakfast. I was curious what it is, so he was not letting me to try because I was a child, but one day secretly I tried and it was pretty intensive, yeah.
Do you have any tradition, any custom, any story to tell us around coffee in Turkey? I've heard something about a marriage and a bride maybe making coffee, so I don't know, you tell us.
There is a marriage tradition. A bride traditionally serves coffee to her potential groom and his parents, and also the bride adds some salt to the coffee as a measure of how interested she is. And if a man can pound down a whole cup of salty coffee, he proves his manliness and also is saying that he is ready to marry her.
So when I was researching around coffee, I come across this term. It's the memory of a cup lasts 40 years. So I thought that's deep enough and maybe too deep for me to understand. So yeah, maybe sort of elaborate a little bit on that.
Actually, that means it's more than a drink. Turkish coffee is not only a beverage, but also communal practice that brings together cultural spaces, social values and beliefs within a context of socialization process. Its role, socialization, can be traced back to the opening of the first coffee houses with its noticeable decorations in Istanbul. Coffee houses were then and still are the places where people drink coffee, share news, read books.
I see.
The tradition itself is a symbol of hospitality, friendship, entertainment. All these are reflected in the famous Turkish proverb,
bir fincan kahvenin 40 yıl hatırı vardır.
This saying represents how important and profound coffee is in Turkish culture.
Turkey has a long tradition of coffee that started as early as the 16th century, when coffee houses first opened in Istanbul. Actually, they have opened there before Europe, before even Italy, just because coffee originated from the Middle East, so it was closer to Turkey, and secondly because initially Europeans were not so fond of things coming from the Middle East. Verlos. Let's touch a little bit on the communal tradition around coffee. Well, actually, in all cultures, coffee places have been places where people converse, where people hang around, when people tell their stories, and this is not something obviously different in Turkey. Coffee in Turkey became a symbol of the Turkish lifestyle.
Turkish coffee culture and tradition promote respect for cultural diversity and human creativity. The tradition of craftsmanship for making the special tools that are used for making Turkish coffee, such as roaster, coffee cups, trays, coolers, mortars.
Special mortars that were used to grind the coffee beans to make it like a fine powder that is needed for the method to work. I mean, imagine the time and the force needed to achieve such a uniform powder. Just feel it. It is soft, it is ultra fine, it reminds me of chalk. The traditional techniques used in preparing Turkish coffee led to the development of special tools and silverware, such as the special voluptuous-looking boiling pot called Çeşme in Turkish, and it is distinguished by its long handle. Arguably, it's one of the key things in the brewing method. And also a small coffee cup, which is called fincan, usually around the size of an espresso cup of today, but
made of precious materials like silver and have distinguished artistic values and constitute unique works of art in their forms. People prefer to display them on their private collections as antiques.
the love for coffee and its emotional and cultural connections with the Turkish people can be seen in the Turkish art even and in the literature.
The inscription would make coffee houses and coffee craftsmanship continue to be source of inspiration for literature, lyrics, and much more.
You have been around, you are now in Greece, you have been maybe in other places in Europe, you are seeing the Italo-American influence around coffee, the likes of Starbucks, the likes of other brands, you know, Greek coffee, Turkish coffee, they have been around for centuries. I mean, what does Turkish coffee mean for you? Do you see yourself making that cup for years and years to come?
For me, the tradition has some distinguished aspects which makes its taste unique and provides means toward socialization. For example, an invitation from a friend for a coffee is an indication for a need to intimate talk or sharing daily issues.
However, it's not fully experienced until you are invited in a Turkish home and they will make coffee for you and you will sit down with them and you will share your stories and you will share your life over a cup of coffee. To feel the breath of hospitality, of genuine friendship that is reflected into that cup of coffee. Thanks a lot to Safiye for her time and effort. If you want to see that video, me preparing the same coffee, although maybe not as good, click the link above your screens. Follow this channel for more food science and nutrition video, food choices. Subscribe, drop a comment if you have any ideas for me, and stay tuned. Happy 2022 and see you in the next video. Bye!